So, what do you do? What do you do when someone you love immensely dies? There's nothing much you can do. And that's what's so sad about it. The fact that you feel hopeless, you feel helpless because there is literally nothing that you can do for them. When it is someone's time to go, there's nothing you can do. And you just have to accept it and you have to let them go. You know, our mom said to us, I have one brother, and she said to us, just let me go. Just let me go. And that was so hard. I mean, you have to be totally, totally selfless. And at that point, you have to think about what that person is going through, not what you want. Because what we wanted was for her to stay, you know. But nobody can live forever. And so the best way to cope with that was to see a therapist. Now, my brother didn't choose to do that, but I did. And it helped me tremendously. I cannot tell you how much it helped me because I saw my therapist once a week. I was actually on FMLA, and so I was able to, spend time with my family and not have to concentrate on work. I could just, some people are different. Some people want to go to work so that they can put their mind on something else. I couldn't concentrate. I could not concentrate, but I went to see a therapist, and I want to tell you that you should never, ever, ever be afraid or ashamed to see a therapist if you need help. I don't care what the situation is, whatever your issue is. It might not be the loss of someone, but whatever you're going through. For me, it was mourning my mother, and I didn't know how to do that properly. I didn't know how to do that without really kind of putting myself in a depression. But I learned through the therapist that you can mourn. You can mourn someone wholeheartedly without keeping yourself in a depression, because if you put yourself in a depression, it doesn't help. It doesn't help anyone. It definitely doesn't help you. And the person who you're mourning, they're gone. They're gone. So you're not helping them in any kind of way because they don't even know what you're going through. So like my mother said to us, I want you all to live. You have lives. You have families. Live. And so that's what I chose to do. And I'll tell you how. The best way that I was able to move on with my life and mourn respectfully my mother's death and to keep going and not stay in a depressed state of mind. As I was seeing the therapist, I also started doing the things that I love to do, that I normally did. I just had to throw myself back into my routine. I love making jewelry. And so I got back into making jewelry. I love going to movies with my husband and, going out to dinner and to eat and things like that. So I started doing those things again. I didn't stay in bed because I would just wake up, take a shower, get right back in the bed, and it was just, I got to a point where I was like, I can't keep living like this because this is not living and it was not helpful. It was just tearing me apart. So I know how painful it is when someone you love dies and you feel like, how can you possibly go on? How are you going to get through this? How are you going to make it through the day? Your routine is used to that person being right there with you or talking to you or whatever your routine is. And we have to really just think about ourselves. We have to really become selfish and start thinking about ourselves, because if I didn't think about myself, I wouldn't have made it through, So I learned to mourn my mother and carry her memory with me. There's not a day that goes by that I don't think about my mom. Not one day. Okay. I thought about her every day when she was alive. So definitely in her death. I think about her all the time, but I think about her and now I can smile. So I just want to tell you that I promise you, you will get to a point where you can smile. You'll be able to say that person's name and you'll be able to smile. You won't cry every time you see their picture or somebody talks about them or asks about them or you reminisce about them. You will actually laugh. You know what I mean? So it came to a point when my mother's birthday would come. I was like so sad, but I remembered the things that the therapist told me to do, and I started doing those things. I started remembering my mom, the life, that she gave me and the time that I was able to spend with her rather than her death and the tragic, death that she went through. I remembered her strength. And I remembered her love and her passion, and that helped me. So I promise you, you'll get through this. I promise you. The last thing I want to say to you is just make sure that you take care of yourself. Okay. We have such a tendency, especially women, right? We have such a tendency. We take care of our families. We take care of our husbands, our boyfriends, everybody, our parents, our children. We take care of everybody before we take care of ourselves. So we have to learn as women that we must take care of ourselves. So when someone dies that you loved wholeheartedly, it does not give you a license to just stop taking care of yourself. You have to take care of you. You're really doing their memory a disservice when you don't take care of you. My mother was most proud of me and my brother when we did the things that she knew that we knew how to do, which was to take care of ourselves, to have prosperous lives and active lives and healthy lives, So I get up every day and I exercise and I do the things that I know that I should be doing. Do I think about my mother? Absolutely. Do I still miss my mother? Absolutely. That will never stop. But that's the cycle of life. You're going to die. Somebody's going to miss you the same way. But I bet if you have a daughter or a son or any loved one that you know is going to miss you, you're going to wish them the best. You don't want them sitting around mourning over you and, pining your loss. You want them to go on. And that's what my mother wanted me and my brother to do. And that's what I hope that you will do. One, get the help that you need. If you need to talk to a counselor, if you need to talk to a therapist, talk to a therapist. If you can't find a therapist or you don't feel comfortable, talk to someone. If you don't have someone that you feel comfortable with, there are 800 numbers that you can call, There are life support numbers that you can call. I'll actually list some in my title, in my description below. I'll list some for you to call. But whatever you do, remember, you got to take care of yourself. It's so important. And I can't stress that enough. So I know you're hurting. I know you're mourning. And when I was going through things like this, I sought out videos and I found people on YouTube that helped me to make the decision to go see a therapist. So I'm just passing the torch along because I want us all to be healthy and happy and live prosperous lives. And remember that there is still life after death of someone that we loved. Okay? So please, whatever you do, take care of yourself. Okay? This is Lavita signing off. Bye-bye.